It's said that every fisherman has a dream destination, one that captivates their imagination, fuels their passion for fishing, and ignites a drive to one day conquer its waters. For longtime friend Rene Vaz and myself, this dream destination has always been the pristine streams of the rugged and remote Alaskan backcountry. The area's icy lakes and streams hold a myriad of fascinating fish species, and its vast and uncharted landscapes are a perfect backdrop to the adventure of a lifetime. Our Alaskan fishing adventure begins with a 2-day pilgrimage across the globe. This 11,000 kilometre journey is a blur of uncomfortable airline seats and airport waiting lounges. However, the further we travel, the clearer it becomes that we weren't the only anglers making the epic trip to this fly fishing mecca. When we finally arrive in King Salmon, Alaska, Rene and I know we're in an area where wilderness fishing is a way of life. From King Salmon, it's only a short drive to the Katmai Trophy Lodge. This specialised fishing accommodation will be the base for our Alaskan fishing adventure.
Hey guys, this will be your guide for the week, Captain Mo.
Nice to meet you, sir. What's happening?
Micah, this is Rene.
Nice to meet you, man.
Mate, I'm really excited. We've come a long way. What can we expect out here?
Well, in the Naknek River in Alaska, we have 5 different species of salmon. We have trout, grayling, and char in the river.
Yep.
Right now, we are right in the middle of our silver salmon season, and our rainbow trout are starting to pick up very good every day. So that's what we're primarily going to go after is rainbows and silvers.
I hear that they're the best fly rod species.
Yes,
is
they
that
are.
right?
They're very easy to target. They're right on the bank, usually 9 times out of 10. So they're in shallow water, so they're really good to go for with a fly rod.
Cool, man. Well, look, I tell you what, we've come a long way. It's been a long couple of flights, and that lodge is looking pretty hospitable in there, so let's do it.
All right.
After a good night's rest, Rene and I are eager to get our lines in the water. Using brightly coloured flies and an aggressive stripping action, our aim is to aggravate the spawning salmon into biting.
Yep. Fish on.
Good work. What do you got on?
What fly?
Yeah.
I've got the ugliest, heaviest pink thing you've ever seen.
A really nice casting one, was it?
Yeah, it's a real delight to cast on an 8-weight, mate.
Good work.
But we've got our first fish, mate, so it's all been worth it. Certainly tough casting.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of wind as well.
Bit of wind, bit of rain going on. I've just changed leaders too, mate. We're using these poly leaders from Airflow. It's quite a unique system, really, in that what you can do is we're using a floating line, an Airflow Ridge floating line, but you can add these little 5 and 9 feet poly leaders that effectively create a little sink tip system. I was using a fast sink, and I actually went to the extra fast. I just felt like I wasn't getting down quite enough. And then that coupled with a short leader, a little 12-pound Airflow fluoro leader, and a super heavy dumbbell pink fly, and that was just enough to get me down in this fast current. It's not deep water, probably only 5-6 feet deep, but with this fast current we're really not getting the ability to sink down quick enough in front of the fish. So using this little super fast sink tip, or Airflow poly leader, and the fast sinking fly, we're just getting down enough. So it's been a little option that's worked pretty nicely and connected to my first salmon. It's good times.
You got it.
That is a really cool looking fish.
Wow, look at that.
Good jobs.
Hey!
What an amazing fish, dude.
That,
Up here right there.
That is the coolest
Isn't that cool?
salmon I have ever seen. So that's a
male humpy, yeah.
Male pink salmon.
Pink salmon, male pink salmon.
Wow.
We call them rubber salmon up here. They feel like rubber because they get that cartilage right up in here.
This is one of the coolest salmon or trout species I've ever caught. That is unbelievable. My first salmon on the fly here in Alaska. It's good times, Rene.
Good start. Should we get him back?
Absolutely, man. I've got to get this guy back in the water. Amazing big back on them, hey? Off you go, mate. There we go. Got one, Ray. Rene, it's a nice one too, mate.
Oh, good.
I tell you, this is just extraordinary fishing. We're here in the Naknek River, which is basically a massive big river system that feeds Bristol Bay in Alaska. Apparently, Bristol Bay has got like the biggest salmon run just about in the world, I believe, and it's got all 5 species. Right now we're catching humpies or humpback salmon or pink salmon.
So I think these humpies are great fish, Micah. I guess the kings and the silvers are the real prize salmon, but I'm happy to be catching these. And whoa, that is a really nice fish.
Well netted, mate. That was a bit of a task then when you went forward on you. Just lift him out.
The jaws of fishing barbel's hooks, eh? Nice and clean.
You can see why they call them humpbacks, Rene. They're a striking fish, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Still got the spots across the top. Look really, really impressive. Pretty different to anything we've caught before, I think.
Absolutely. All right, mate, I'm going to get this guy back. He's looking pretty excited to go.
Yeah.
Fishing in the legendary Naknek River in Alaska, Rene Vaz and I have spent the morning catching humpback salmon on fly. But as the day continues, we're determined to land one of the 4 other salmon species. Luckily, we don't have to wait long before we've got another one on the line.
Mate, I've got a nice silver here, I reckon. Really bright chrome fish and pretty solid flanks.
Yeah, I saw him come up, Micah, and he's a big fish.
Oh, look at that big tail hanging out the back there. Pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It looks like he's coming up, Micah. I'll try and net him.
Sure, mate. I'll just lead him over to you, hopefully. He's actually a really solid fish, this one, mate.
Yeah.
Using an 8-weight rod, it's no slouch and a fair bit of tippet. And yet... Awesome. Right, way to go, mate.
Full reach, but that's a big fish. I think that's a
That could be our best so far, I think,
fish of the day,
Rene.
mate.
I'll just pick him out with a 10 or 2.
Whoa.
Now that is a nice silver salmon, Rene.
It's an epic fish, really big.
Mo tells us that's about 12 pounds. I'm pretty happy with that.
They're a really thick, really strong fish, straight out of the sea. You did well.
Like, they're a really tough fish.
All right, mate, let's keep going. I think the silvers are on.
It's silver season, man. Let's do it. Mate, it has turned cold, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I've had to put the beanie on. It's really cold out here. Apparently, it's midsummer. Doesn't quite look like midsummer to me. But the silvers are starting to bite, Rene. That's the good thing.
Yeah, that's the main thing. That looks like another good fish, right?
Yeah, it seems pretty solid, actually, mate.
Micah, is he coming in at all?
Mate, he's probably getting further away from me, to be honest, Rene.
Yeah.
He's using his weight. He's a decent fish, and he's just sort of going down with his current. So
Well, there's a fast bit of current there, and yeah, it's a big fish to pull upstream, right?
yeah, I don't know that I'm going to be able to pull him upstream.
Should we slide down?
I think we should slide down, yeah.
Should we slide down and...
So what we're doing now, Mo's just taken some throttle off the little outboard there. It was holding into the current. and now we're just drifting downstream. This is a really nice silver salmon that I can see over there. Really well conditioned, these fish. They're probably, at this stage we're here in August, these are the freshest run of the salmon in the river at the moment, so it makes sense that they've got probably the most energy and they're in the best condition.
Off he goes again.
I'll see if I can bring him back around to you, Rene. Yeah, well done, Rene.
Oh, here's another big fish, mate.
That is a really good, solid fish. That actually could be bigger than the last fish we just got, I think.
Yeah, he's big, isn't he?
It's a really big fish.
Pick him up.
Wow.
Looks like a jack.
That is a special fish, isn't it?
Big jaw on him. Yeah, what a great looking fish, mate.
I think that might actually be just a bit bigger than the last one. Mo said the last one was about 12 pounds. I'm going to call that for a whisker bigger. It's really good condition. You can see nice solid backs, not out of proportion. They're just made for fighting, aren't they?
Yeah.
Fresh out of the sea.
Ultra strong fish. Really, really good looking fish. You going to pop him back?
I am going to put this one back. He's an absolute beauty and he's got some spawning to do, Rene, so let's get him back. I'm on, Rene, I'm onto a nice silver here. Looks like we're just around the motor. There we go. Here we go. Over this side.
Good work. It's another big fish, mate.
Oh, well done, mate. Well done. He's a nice fish, eh?
Yeah, he's another big fish that flies just popped out straight away. So.
Alrighty. Well, this is another special fish.
Yeah, great start.
Tell you what, we've been catching a fair few silvers in this session. It's, you know, obviously the conditions aren't ideal. It's not exactly red hot, a bit of rain, certainly a little bit of wind. But the silver fishing, well, it's as spectacular as I thought it would be when I was reading all the books about Alaskan fishing. I knew that these silvers were going to be the prize species. They certainly haven't let us down, have they, mate?
Yeah, we timed it. This is when the runs are supposed to be on, and they definitely all go. And fish like that, time after time, you can't complain.
Beautiful, isn't it? 10 and 12 pounds of prime silver salmon. What dreams are made of.
Yeah, absolutely.
After a successful day on the water, Rene and I head back to the Katmai Trophy Lodge to unwind and prepare for tomorrow. By the time the sun has set, the guests are relaxing in the warmth of the lodge. However, in the guide shack, preparation for the next day's fishing is still taking place.
I stand unspoken, words that reach beside my mind, a line now broken, with all these questions left in.
If you're lucky enough to find your way into the shack, you'll quickly learn some of the motivations that drive guides like Mo to the Alaskan salmon fisheries every season.
Guys, what I think is really cool about the life cycle of the salmon is the whole process that they have to go through to come from freshwater to salt and then back to freshwater to spawn. Salmon start their life off as fry. They live in the salt or in the fresh for a few months, and then they migrate back out to the ocean. They live 3 to 5 years out in the ocean, and then they come back as adults into the river and then go into the exact same tributary and then go almost to the exact same spot that they were brought up in. A bloodhound can smell 100 times better than a human, and a fish can smell 1,000 times better than a bloodhound. For them to come back within 20 yards of where their parents actually spawned is incredible to me. They spend their life out in the ocean. They don't know when they're supposed to come back. Somehow in nature's process, they've developed a way that they can just figure out that they need a certain amount of males and females to come back to the fresh water that they spawned in so that they can reproduce. They come back from anywhere from 15 inches to 35 pounds, and then they come back and spawn. But what really makes a salmon unique is the fact that once they spawn, they die. That's a true definition of a salmon. So once the salmon dies, they provide food for the fry that once they hatch, they have something to live on, and then they proceed to the ocean. So that's really cool to me.
After a refreshing night in the beautiful Katmai Trophy Lodge, Rene and I head out for another day of salmon fishing on the Naknek River. Though we have already landed the two main salmon species in season, pinks and silvers, our guide Mo is adamant the river still has other species for us to target. So with a quick change in technique, we get another fish on the line.
Rene, I've got a fish here, mate, just fishing that bead. And by bead, we're talking about what in Australia we'd probably call a glow bug or an egg pattern, but here in Alaska, these guides are using like a hard little orange or pink bead. And actually run the leader or tip it through the bead, put a little hook just on the other side of it. So it's pretty interesting, really. Still fishing it the same way, you know, with an indicator, long leader, and a little bit of split shot to get it down. So it's classic sort of glow bug indicator fishing for us guys in Australia, but they call them beads. Not sure what I've got here. Looks like a rainbow, actually.
That's it, well done.
So Mo, what do we got here? That looks to me like a rainbow.
This is a small king. They're the teenagers of the king salmon world. They're very aggressive. They bite beads, flies, anything. And what this is like nature's way of making sure that the species survive. We're after the season. It's in August now, so we can't retain any of these fish. They have to be immediately released, and you can't take them out of the water unless you're going to retain the fish. And because it's after the season, we can't take them. So,
okay.
But we can catch them incidentally. So they bite beads real well. So.
Okay, mate. Here's a lot of fun on this little 6-weight, but let's get him back, eh?
All right, let's roll him out. There he goes.
Awesome.
So, decent rainbow, eating these eggs, and they're all stacked up behind the king salmon, so it seems like the king salmon has started to spawn. We've had a lot of small rainbows, and here's the first kind of decent one, so.
There you go, sir.
Good solid fish.
Nice fish.
All right. So there we go. Do you want to pull the hook out, mate?
Yep.
So, nice little rainbow, taking a bead. Again, they're just sitting behind those king salmon and they seem to be really on at the moment. So let's get them back in and we'll go for it.
In a few good fishing sessions, we've managed to land a variety of fish species. However, the mighty Naknek River in Alaska has one final surprise.
Yeah, another silver.
Hey, I'm on too.
You're on?
Yeah, I've just hooked up.
Oh, well, I was hoping you're going to help me land this fish, but Mo might be on netting.
Tell you what, I'm not so sure that I've got a silver here.
I think you got another pink, Micah.
I reckon it's a bit long.
Yeah, who knows? Well, it could be anything in here, right?
Could be anything. Guys, that fish is just coming down the back with you guys. I'm gonna have to come down, I think. I'm gonna have to come down past you guys. I wonder. You might have a check. I reckon I'm gonna check that. Oh, it's just under the boat here.
So, what do you reckon, Micah? You could have a king?
I'm not really sure. When I first saw him, it just didn't look that bright silver that we've been seeing. No, actually, I might stay up. No, I'm going to come in. You go forward, mate. So I'm going to come into here.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't know if it is a silver, mate, but
There's a big fish. I saw him come up and jump before.
yeah,
And
yeah, it's solid enough, isn't it?
absolutely.
Oh, that's a nice fish. That's yours.
Yeah.
Rene, you better get that fish up front.
Mo, is that a king?
No, it's a chum salmon, or what we call a dog salmon.
Right, okay. I thought they were...
Really late in the season for a pretty clean chum like that. So
I certainly came here...
bonus fish for sure.
Yeah, I came here in August completely expecting to not see one of these because they're like June, July, is that right?
Yep, June and July.
Yeah,
But
okay.
this is actually a pretty clean fish. So
it actually hasn't been here that long.
they put on a really good fight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, this guy certainly ran me around pretty quickly. That's also why I thought it might have been a king. It was just playing up a treat.
yeah, it's pretty cool that we got a silver on one line. We got a dog right here. So
Hey, cool, man.
Well done.
So,
It's a big fish, dude.
big fish too.
that is a nice fish. That's a really wild-looking salmon, hey?
Yep. That's what we call a calico salmon or a dog salmon. Chum,
Chum.
all the same.
There we go. That fly's just come straight out.
If you want to take
All
a
right.
picture of him, we'll get him out here.
Wow.
And we'll get Renee's fish.
Yeah, here we go.
Just hold this guy up.
They're a little easier to hold than the other ones.
Okay.
You can put your fingers right in them.
Man.
Look at that.
Why do they call them dog salmon?
Because of the big teeth on them like that, because they look like a big dog.
That is a cool looking salmon. I mean, everything out here is cool. No doubt about it. All these species are pretty wild and gnarly. And the transition that they take on between being fresh fish from the sea and
You ready
then
for this one?
how they
Renee?
end up in these rivers is quite amazing.
Looking on this one.
But that's a pretty striking looking fish.
Oh,
Chum or dog salmon here in Alaska.
Yep. Nice one, Micah. That's another species and awesome looking fish.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm really excited to get a chum or dog salmon, but I'm also really excited to get this guy back. It's a hate killing fish, so he's going straight back into the water.
Can you come and net this fish for me?
Oh, well done, Rene. That's a nice silver.
Gee, look how fat this one is.
Mate, do you want me to pick him up for you?
Yeah, please.
Right. That is an absolute beauty, mate.
Can't complain about that. I even think these pink flies look awesome sitting on their silver flanks, so what a great fish.
Mate, that is another double-digit silver salmon. It's turning into a pretty good session on salmon,
Been a
or
great
silvers
session.
that is. We're certainly working for them in these rainy conditions, but all in all, it's pretty amazing fishing here at the Katmai Trophy Lodge or on the Naknek River. I'll tell you what, it's been well worth the journey. But the really good news, guys, is that next episode, what we're going to do is get in a float plane, we're going to leave this lodge, and we're going to go right into the back country of Alaska. We're going to be chasing big sockeye salmon and wild rainbow trout. I reckon we might even see some bears. This could be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This has been a great day, but can't wait for tomorrow.
Absolutely. Well, what do you think? We'll get this guy back,
Sounds
go back
great.
to the lodge, warm up, get ready for tomorrow in the float plane.
Perfect.
Awesome.